Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all. I'll give my own introduction to you all. जो नहीं जानते मेरे को, those who don't know me, I will just let them know. So that's the pranam mantra and introduction. Namo Vishnupada Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charine Vishesha Srinivadi Ashtadesha Pranam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Savitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Vadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapatkam Shri Gurana Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sakshatam Sahajam Bhagavatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarabhutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahajan Lalita Shri Vishakhanatamascha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvano Sadadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Bhaksha Kripa Sindhu Bhayeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So I'm Radhika Kripa. I joined ISKCON like 25 years back. I joined in 2099. It was 15th May 99. It was first time in Vrindavan. So then I got initiated. I met my spiritual master, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. It was in 99 again. I met him. And he was my Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru both. He was my mentor. So I had full access to him any time of the day. And me and my husband, Rasapriya Prabhu, we both of us then got initiated from him within 1 year. Like 2000, by 2001, we were both initiated by him. And then my Prabhuji and I both give services for the last 25 years, laundry services to ISKCON. He's the architect and the interior designer for the latest temple even that opened up in Delhi, Rohini Temple, which you must have heard. It's designed by him. And many more temples he has designed. That is the latest ones in Delhi. The Faridabad, the Bahadurgarh, then the Gurgaon temple. The second one in Gurgaon also he's making. So around 5 to 6 projects he's done for Guru Maharaj's pleasure and for Srila Prabhupada's pleasure. And he's making the Gurgaon second temple and then Yamunanagar near Kurukshetra. He's making another temple for ISKCON. So he is giving the ordinary service for the last 25 years, and myself, Guru Maharaj said that I should author books and I should travel. So I'm giving those services as per the instructions of my spiritual master. So both of us, we just want to fulfill the desire of our Guru Maharaj. Whatever he wanted us to do, the services for ISKCON, for Srila Prabhupada, we both are trying to do our best for that. And my Guru Maharaj told me to travel internationally. First he said, you should preach, you should give lectures. I was not initiated even at that time, he said. So I started giving, and then he asked me one day, I should travel internationally and do lectures. I should preach. Anywhere on this planet, he said, you have my blessings to travel anywhere on this planet. And then I wanted to fulfill, as I said, always, I'm from a Sikh background. I'm a Sikh myself, I'm a Sadhani. And my husband is a Hindu Punjabi. So both of us, I know the Granth Sahib even, I'm a fashion designer by profession. I was having a business of my own when I met Guru Maharaj. I had a big business of mine, and my husband had the real estate business. They are builders and real estate builders. So both of us had our own professions, our own business to handle. But then that's a long story how I became a devotee. When I became a devotee, I just didn't want to continue with my business anymore. And I wound it up by 2000, 2001. I had all wound it up. And then I became a dedicated to my spiritual master or to his instructions. So it was that encouraged me to travel. Then he said I should travel, and my husband said approved of that. He said yes, you should do as Guru Maharaj said. So I started traveling. The first maiden trip was to Sydney only in 2007. I came to Australia. So I had a couple, a god sister and god brother. They met me in Vrindavan, and as I wanted to fulfill the desire of my spiritual master, so I asked them, "Would you like to invite me to Canberra, Australia?" They said, "Of course, come over and give lectures." So everybody appreciated when I came here. So everybody liked it, and I was coming. Then I had another god brother here. He Satya Singh Prabhu, if you all know, he lived in Sydney. So they all invited me throughout from 2007 to 2012. I was coming regularly to Australia, sometimes twice in a year because it gives a 1 year visa. So we had a visa for 1 year. So I wanted to utilize the visa. So I would come twice in a year. And then gradually they moved to Vrindavan. And then I also started going to the other sector rather than only Australia. I wanted to visit all over the planet, as Guru had said. So I started with the Canada, Canada. I went, then I was in Tokyo, then London, and all these places. So I would go half this globe every year. So going more to Canada now, Toronto, Vancouver. I was visiting that place. So it's been that, and the Middle East also, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and Pakistan as well. So I was back in 2020. I had just come back from the. It was in March 2020, Feb end it was. I came back from Abu Dhabi in London, and the lockdown came up. So I was giving live lectures earlier also, but from the places like now, I'm sitting and giving a home program. I would go live. Likewise, I was in London and Pakistan everywhere. I would go live, but never a live online preacher. I was that just sit and look into the camera and speak. I was not like that. I always had a full audience before me, physical audience. But then 2020, when the lockdown came, I could not travel. I knew now, and we could not move out of the house as well. So my husband, he encouraged me. He said, "Why don't you go online on the channel?" My channel was lying dead for like so many years. I had a channel, but I never utilized it. So he said, "Why don't you go live on your channel and on your Facebook?" So I started going live. Just I would feel very shy in the beginning, but then what happened was that when I was going live, nearly 700 to 800 people would join me early in the morning from all over the world. They were also disturbed. So I wanted to, because we have being the devotees, we have the knowledge what Prabhupada has given us. We know, because how I became a devotee was my answers to the questions came there in Vrindavan. It was like that how I became a devotee. I was actually in 98 December, 22nd, 98 December. I lost my father. He was very dear to me. I was the very most pampered child in my home. We had three sisters, and I was the youngest one, and I was very, very pampered. And ours was a business family. And I would, if I say I want to go to Europe for a trip, my father would take me. He never said no to me for anything in the world. So I had, like, he would give me everything in the world, whatever I wanted. And then when I got married, then also he was one of the best friends, my father. And I would confide everything in him rather than to my mother. I would confide to my father everything, every secret of both of us. We would know each other, and he would be the best guide to me. But then suddenly, due to a cardiac arrest, we lost him, and he was in the hospital in the ICU, and I wanted some miracle to happen, but nothing happened. But I was chanting, and I didn't know Hare Krishna Mahamantra at that time. I didn't know ISKCON because I am a Sikh myself. My father was a turban Sikh. So I was well aware of the Granth Sahib and the Guru Granth Sahib in our home. And my mother was she would get up every day in the morning at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'd seen her all my life. She was a pure vegetarian. She would get up at 3:34, go to the room, do everything in the Granth Sahib, we do the morning prakash that's required. She would do that, read it very nicely, and then enter the kitchen. So she had taught me also to read a bit of it every day. So I was doing that, and I knew the chanting of Vaheguru was the one we should be doing it. So I was aware of that. But at that moment, when my father was announced like he is critical, I took a seat in the corner of the hospital to chant this, to chant very, very, fully with devotion. So I was sitting there and chanting and not talking to anybody for 3 hours continuously. I chanted. But then he was pronounced dead by 3:30. They said they had lost him. And then the questions came up to me that why are we born? What are we doing on this earth? Why did we come? What was the reason, the purpose behind it? It cannot be just to. He had a big business. I had a big business. We have accumulated so much. Our aim was always to become, to accumulate more and more and be more. That will bring more happiness. That will bring this, that. These things will bring us. But then we lose someone so dear, and then everything is gone. So what is the purpose behind it? There was no purpose. So why are we born? Why what are we doing here? And who are we exactly? Who God is? First question was who God is. Who knows who God is? So I would ask my elder sisters, and they were older to me by 8 or 9 years, two sisters. So I asked them, my mother also, she said, you should calm down. It's okay. It's natural. If someone leaves, you have to accept it. Just accept it and carry on with your life. But that did not answer my questions. I wanted the answer. My husband helped me. Nobody said that you've gone mad because I said I can't do any more of the business. I just want to listen more and more of the spiritual talks. I'm not interested in anything material you give me now. And whereas I was totally a materialistic person, I had a big business and I was fashion designing. It was I had people would look to me for fashion. They would come to me. I was quite popular among my own circle there. So, but then this was not satisfying what others were telling me. I wanted the answer. So there's this. My husband would take me to every temple in Gurdwara to get the answers, and then he took me to Sikar, where there was a Hanumanji's temple, and everybody goes. You would go there to get the materialistic, things. They would die. We go to even Mata Vaishno Devi or somewhere to these temples to fulfill our material desires. We go there. Give me this, give me a job, give me a son, give me a daughter, give me a child. People go and ask such things. So I went to this temple with my husband and I tied a thread there and asked Hanumanji who God is. Just reveal to me who God is. You're a devotee, so you know who God is. And then you won't believe it. It was April 99. In May 99, 15th May 99, I was at ISKCON temple in Vrindavan. It was not the reason that I wanted to go and see the deities there. It was the reason I had come to Mathura to see someone. So my husband had some work there. But we did not meet that guy. He was not available. And somebody said, our driver, in fact, he told us there's a very nice temple nearby, so I'll take you there, he said, just for sightseeing. So he brought us to the temple, to ISKCON temple, and as we entered, I don't know from where Krishna arranged a devotee to come and greet us. He came and he said, "Where are you from?" We said, "We are from Delhi." And then he said, "Come over, I'll take you around. It's your first visit." I said, "Yes." He took us around. He took us to Prabhupada Samadhi first, and then he took us upstairs, the Prabhupada Samadhi, and he gave us a paper to chant a mantra on every flower, the lotus flower. So I was very, very dedicated at that time because I really needed the answers. So I thought, let's do this, try this. And I chanted the mantra. Me and my husband, both of us were doing it, and children even. So we did the 108 times the mantra around Prabhupada. The first round I did was chanting around Prabhupada Samadhi. So then he took us inside, we saw darshan of the deities, and then he took us inside to the Prabhupada quarters. And even when he was telling us all the philosophy, all the Bhagavad Gita, what the commentaries Prabhupada has given, and his mission and everything. And I said, yeah, these are the questions, the answers are coming to me. That is what I was seeking for. That is what I was looking for. And it was there, and then I got the answers to my questions. And I'm asking the devotee, can I put a tilak, what you're putting? I said, I feel like I want to put it. And he had in his pocket, a chalk kind of thing. He took it out, and from the Prabhupada pond of that water, he took the water and then he put a tilak on me. And that was the first tilak of my life. And then he said, stay for the evening aarti if you can. It was 10 o'clock in the morning in May, extremely hot. But then he said, if you stay for the evening aarti, that's out of this world. You will have a beautiful experience. I asked my husband and he said, okay, we'll stay. And we stayed till evening. We stayed till the evening. We attended the whole kirtan that began at 4 o'clock. First it ended by 1 o'clock. We were out of the temple. We were sitting in the sun. And then in the evening, 4 o'clock, the aarti started. We were inside back. And 4 o'clock, we attended the kirtan throughout till 7 o'clock. Then the 7 o'clock, the Gaur Aarti happened. That was the first time spending the whole day in the ISKCON temple, first time visiting it. And then the Gaurati started, and it was so beautiful that everybody was dancing and singing, and Radharani looked so mesmerizing. She was so beautiful that I loved her at the first sight, and I prayed to her that take care of my father. He's with you now, so just take care of him. And then it was everybody after the aarti, everybody got a garland like the flower garlands they throw around. The pujaris they throw around the garlands for everybody to catch, you know. But then the pujari he gave me nursing pavitra. He gave me that. He said this is from Radharani's neck. And nursing pavitra is a thread I got for Prabhu also this time. It's from it's a beautiful silken thread woven into a garland kind of a thing. So they said it's from Radharani's neck. So I got that first gift from Radharani there in Vrindavan. And since then, that day, me and my husband, we started chanting 16 rounds. And then I met my spiritual master, and then here I am now after 25 years. So that was in 99. So, and I had the blessings of so many sannyasis, so many, they are all my Guru Maharaj was my father, and I had so many spiritual uncles. One of his Jayapataka Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, I have Navigendra Maharaj, then Bibi Govind Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj Maharaj, then Bhakti Charu Maharaj, um, Radha Govind Maharaj, and many of them have visited our home, like Jayapataka Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Radha Govind Maharaj, then Mahavishnu Swami, many, Loknath Maharaj. They've all been to our home and they have blessed. They have really been kind to and showered their mercy upon us. So that is how it is. My life has been. And then in 2020, I started the online preaching, and we started having a big crowd coming up with me. And my Guru Maharaj blessed me, and he said, "You have to do the Bhagavatam marathon in 2020 when the Bhagavatam marathon came up. You also must be doing it here, the Srimad Bhagavatam marathon that happens on Bhadra Purnima." So my Guru Maharaj said that Radhika Kripa, I want you to do the marathon with your online group, and your target is 1,000 Bhagavatam sets. You have to give out in 1 month. That is the Bhagavatam marathon. So with his blessings, that year we could do 425 Bhagavatam sets in 1 month. And then the next year, 2021, he said, your target is 1,000 yet. You have to do 1,000. And we did 525 the next year, 2021. Then 2022, again, we did 626 Bhagavatam sets. And all these years, we were doing the Bhagavad Gita marathon as well. 2020, we did 6,000 Bhagavad Gitas. 2021, we did 14,000 Bhagavad Gitas. 2022, we did 626 Bhagavatam sets along with 15,000 Bhagavad Gitas. And then 2023, last year, we did 565 Bhagavatam sets and 20,500 Bhagavad Gitas. And this year, I have done 800 Bhagavatam sets. And the Bhagavad Gitas. Bhagavad Gita will happen now when this marathon starts in the month of November. November, we will start with the Bhagavad Gita marathon. That'll go till January first week. So this is not me doing it, it's all Guru Maharaj's blessings because he wanted me to do. And side by side, I've been writing books. I'm author of 6 books, and he wanted me to write books. So the first book that came out in 2006, I wrote a poetry book. It was on the devotional poems. Then 2007, I wrote the Vaishnava teachings in Sikhism. That's the Granth Sahib and the Gita and the Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Similar verses coming up from the Granth Sahib and the Gita. For preaching, it's excellent book. And then because it's all Guru Maharaj blessings, and the copies that went all over the world. It was not me who took the copies all over the world. It was Jayapataka Maharaj who took the copies all over the world. When this book came up, he called me up. My Guru Maharaj told him that Radhika Kripa has come out with a book. And Jayapataka Maharaj called me in the middle, like it was 11 o'clock in the night. They had just finished a meeting with my Guru Maharaj and others. There was the GBC meetings going on, and that just finished. And when he called me up, his servant called me up, he said, Maharaj will speak to you. And I spoke to Jayapataka Maharaj, and he said, how many copies can you give me? I want to take it. Tomorrow I'm flying to Hong Kong and the other parts of the world. I'm going to carry this book with me. And I said, as many as you want. So that's how I delivered copies to him. And my Guru said, go, deliver it, give it to him. And then he took it all over the world. And that's how. And then I have been writing. My Guru Maharaj always encouraged me. So every Vyas Puja of his, I have been writing and gifting them some book or the other. So this is my story, and yet I'm here. I travel, and that's why Prabhuji when asked me, he contacted me. I said, sure, why not? For preaching, I go all over, anywhere. So anybody invites me, I would go. And I recently I was in Canada. In last 6 months, for twice I went to Canada, and then I went to Mauritius, and here I am. Last year I was in Canada, then I went to Kenya, and then I came for one day to Delhi, and the next day I flew to Mauritius. So it's like that, and my Guru Maharaj always encouraged me. And I was taking classes even today. Yesterday, I came live from Hong Kong airport because my session had started there. The time was there at 5 a.m. I give a session every day at 5 a.m. for chanting, IST Indian Standard Time. It's been now more than 1,250 days, more than that, every day coming live on at 5 a.m. on the YouTube channel. So we have approximately 80 to 100 people joining me, those who chant with me, and some of them have got initiated even from Guru Maharaj before he left this planet. He initiated them also. So this is how it is. We are very fortunate that we are under Srila Prabhupada's shelter, that we have the best access to the best philosophy in the world. So by the best person. So this is how we can, and as I know, I don't know how many of you know me. I speak on Hare Krishna TV also. They invite me for the talks, and I've given many talks there on karma, on other things as well. So today, if you would you like to hear? Because you all are devotees, you are aware of what the philosophy is. But we can just have a talk together. Like I've introduced myself, you can let me know what any question, any queries you have about me or anything. You can ask me that. We can have that kind of a session also. Because I don't know many of I have not I don't know you all. That's the thing. So if somebody would like to say anything, they want to question, have any question, especially the youngsters here, if they have any questions they want to ask. Because usually they feel that how can a person be so consistent in bhakti, how can they be so determined in bhakti? And how the Guru mercy is so important. We read every day in the morning on my live session, every day we chant 8 rounds together. And then we do the whole morning program. Guru Vashtakam, then Chaitanya Shikshashtakam we do. Tulsi Aarti we do. And Tulsi Aarti is done like one person performs Tulsi Aarti. The person may be staying in Jaipur, in Chennai, or in anywhere, and he or she performs. And singing is done by another person who is from like any other place, from Mauritius or from Canada or from America. So likewise, we have a session like this. Then we have the quote of Srila Prabhupada, a quote of Guru Maharaj, and then we have Prabhupada Leelamrit, 2-3 pages of Prabhupada Leelamrit every day. And we read that, I read it to them and explain to them. And then we have we have a school as well online now, that is Peaceful Fun Activity School. So we train the kids as well. I have a faculty. I have allocated a faculty on my session itself in my group, the Peaceful Devotional Family. We have a faculty, the teachers whom we have appointed. They are doctors and they are IT professionals from different backgrounds. They all have been appointed as the faculty members. So they chart out a session every Saturday. We get the kids. We have 100 kids from all over the world. They join in, and this faculty they prepare a movie. They prepare a PPT presentation of a shloka. They teach them the shlokas. They teach them paintings. They take a theme, a leela or pastime, and they teach them all. So our kids are really getting, because they are the future preachers. They will be the future preachers. So we are giving them the training. Their parents need not to be devotees. They are from all the backgrounds all over the world. So sometimes the children are making their parents devotees. Because in my group, the faculty members, they talk to their parents even. They have the access to the children, they talk to their parents, they preach them. So likewise, the family expands. Guru Maharaj always wanted the family to expand. The devotional family should expand, he said. So we are entering so many houses like this. So big group it is. We have around about more than 15,000 people in the group now. So likewise we are expanding. So this is the aim of bhakti, that we give it to others. That's what I've learned from the Granth Sahib even. First we take it, we chant nicely, and then we give it to others. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, of course, they are very dear to me, those who chant themselves and make others chant. They propagate my holy name, and they are very dear to me. Nobody can be more dearer than them. And that's the similarity, it's there in the Granth Sahib, exactly the same. So that's my story and access that I have. I've written the books called Vaishnava Teachings in Sikhism, Vaishnavism and Sikhism, Guru the Spiritual Father, Death the Unstoppable. I just wrote that. And then there's another book, Memoirs of My Spiritual Father, a little story of me that I gifted. That's this one book. Last year, I had compiled, I written this book, and I gifted to Guru Maharaj when he was there on his Vyasa Puja. I gifted it to him. It's called My Interaction with My Spiritual Fast Master, with my Guru Maharaj, my husband and my both of us, with Guru Maharaj. It's got around about 200 candid pictures with Guru Maharaj throughout my devotee life, and he blessed me. I offered this book to him, and I had written this book, Guru the Spiritual Father. So this is how it is that when we are determined that we want to serve, then Krishna helps us. Krishna actually makes the path so smooth for us. First, if we want to surrender, then everything happens. When I joined in, my children were very young. They were like 7 and 11. My daughter was 11 years and my son was 7 years. And we had joined at that time. Then gradually they grew up here, watching their parents getting more Krishna conscious. And that is the blessings flow to them as well. So if anybody wants to ask me anything, we can go ahead. Yes, this young boy wants to ask. Yes, get up.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You mentioned Jayapataka Swami.
Yeah.
Do you have any special interactions with him?
Lots of.
Little kids.
Okay. I have many old videos. When I started, when I joined ISKCON and I had gone for my first Mayapur Parikrama, that was in the year 2001, I used to carry a video camera with me, always. So I used to run around with my video camera. When the Parikram started even, I used to, because you have to make a video of then you have to run first. You have to run ahead of them, stand there, make the video and let them come into your camera focus. And when they pass by you, then you again turn around and run. And I was doing that. I was 36 at that time, 37, 36. So I was totally making this, and one I was making clicking, and then Jagannatha Kamal comes and looks into my camera and says, "You're spying on me." I said, "Yes." And then there are many videos like this. So the main one, there is one that is quite interesting. Is in 2007 when this book came up, and he said, "I want a few copies." That was in the middle of the night when he said. The next day he was coming to Delhi. He was about to catch a flight to Hong Kong, and then he was supposed to go to London. So he came over. He was coming to the airport, and then what happened? I asked my husband that you have to drive me down to the airport because I have to give the copies, and the parking would be very difficult in the airport. You just can't park it far away. And the servant, Jagannatha Kamar's servant, told me that when you come, Mataji, you have to bring your. We had two cars at that time, one SUV and the other one a sedan. He said you bring your SUV because Jakarta Maharaj has to be transported from the domestic airport to the international airport. So it's good you bring your bigger car. I said, fine, absolutely. So I asked my husband, I said, you come along with me because we have to take Maharaj also to the other airport. And then if we don't have the parking very near to the exit where he is coming out, we need the parking to be there. He's a VIP. We can't park it in the parking there for the general lot. We can't make him walk till there. So I need your help. And he said, I cannot come along because at that time the Punjabi Bagh temple, where that also is made by my husband. So that temple, Krishna Balram they were to be installed within few days' time, like say 2 days' time itself. And a lot of preparations were going on, and he was in charge of those preparations. He said, I cannot come. You have to manage on your own. And I said, okay, if we can get some VIP to You call up some VIP like the police commissioner we knew at that time. I said if you could call him up, Delhi police commissioner, that he could just give a call at the airport if they give us a VIP parking. If by chance we can get a VIP diplomat parking that is just next to the arrival gate. He said, I'm not going to call the commissioner for such a thing for a parking. I'm not going to call him. You fix it up. You go to the airport and you fix it up. There is one VIP parking, paid parking also. So if you don't get that, you do a paid parking. That's a little bit you have to walk. I left it to Krishna, I just prayed to Krishna. I said, you fix up something for me. And I was very confident something would happen. I reached the airport. I got down from the airport. At that time, the domestic airport was under a bit of construction going on. There was a lot of police standing there. I just got out from my car at the airport manager's office. Airport manager office was just opposite the arrival gate. And I asked the police wala, I said, where is the airport manager office? He said, this is the one. And I very confidently got out of the car. I said, just take care of my car. I'm just coming. I have some work with the airport manager. And he also did not say anything. No, no, you can't park here. I got down. I went to the airport manager's office. And I went inside. He was not on his seat. His PA was on his seat. So I talked to his personal secretary. I said, like this, there is a big sannyasi coming up. And he's just in a transit. So could you help me with a VIP parking? Just for a few minutes, I need it 10, 15 minutes. That's all. He said, no, 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 it cannot happen like this. We cannot give like this. It's only for the diplomats. I said, preached him a bit, and he said, no, no, let the manager come. And I just went out. In his office only. I was outside his office, standing there. I just chanted Nursing Aarti, and I just prayed again to Lord Narasimha. I said, help me out. And in the meantime, the airport manager came over. So I went back again inside and I pleaded with him also. I said, you're very fortunate. You should also come out and have darshan. You're very fortunate that such a big sannyasi is coming and all that. I told him everything. And then somehow they got the mercy from Krishna and they said, okay, we'll give you. They signed a slip and gave it to me. I went outside, I showed it to the policeman. He opened up all the gates for me and I entered in and I parked the car at the diploma parking, the number one parking. And I went inside. The story doesn't end here. When I went inside, Maharaj was coming down. He was walking down. And then Madhav Kanta, if you know him, he's Jagataka Maharaj's personal servant. So he was there. He said, Mataji, Maharaj will go because Maharaj's disciple has got a brand new car just yesterday out from a showroom. So they brought that car. They want Maharaj to sit in that car. You take his luggage. I said, no way. I'm not listening to this. Then as Jagataka Maharaj was walking, I walked towards him. I bowed down to him, paid obeisances, and I said, Maharaj, as per your instructions, I've got the car, and I told him the whole story that how I had reached to the airport manager and got the parking, the VIP parking. His disciples had a parking in the paid VIP, but I got it in the just next to the gates. And he just smiled. Then he walked and he said, okay, I'll go with you. And I said, but there is I did not tell him that my Prabhu is not driving. I said, Maharaj, but there is one thing. It's me driving, not my Prabhu. I am driving. You'll have to sit with me. He said, no problem. I was so happy. And then then he said, there is a change of program. I'll go with you. And I'm going to my disciples' home. That was like 40 minutes from the airport. He said, I go there. Until evening, I'm there. Till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I'm there. And then you drive me back. You take my luggage then. And I will sit in the car. Likewise, I will make both of you pleased. You both will be happy. I said, yes, Maharaj, I agree to that. So then he sat with me and I drove the SUV. And Jagataka Maharaj was not like this, what you have seen him now. He was so, healthy and he was so fit and fine. He looked like a king. He sat in the seat and the seat belt won't fit him. So I was pulling the seat belt and pressing his stomach to make it fit. And then I fit him. And then Maharaj was sitting very nicely with me, and then his disciples sat in the back seat with me, his servant. They all sat in the back seat of the car. And then I drove, and all the policemen they joined their hands and stood like this when we drove out of the area. They all came out to take his blessings. And that is how I drove. And when I was on the road, Maharaj took out the book immediately. He said, where is the book? And so I handed the book in his hand. He looked through the book and he said, "Where is the meaning of Vaheguru in this?" Then I said, "Maharaj, it is actually it was written. There's a big story about this book also, how it came out." So I said, "Maharaj, there is no index." He said, "There is no index in the book." I said, "No, Maharaj, there was no time for the index to be done. It is I'll let you know which page." So I just looked like this towards him. He said, "No, no, 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 you look on the road." "You are my Sarthi today." The words he said. He said, "Today you are my Sarthi. You look on the road." I said, "Okay, Maharaj." And then he said, "When I reached my disciples' home, I'll take a shower and sit for prasadam. And then you read the book to me." He said that. And when I have those pictures, photographs with me. When he took a shower, he sat for the prasadam, he's eating, and I'm reading the whole book. I read almost the whole book to him. And he has that siddhi, of course. He is very powerful. So he could retain all, you see, all the spiritual masters like Guru Maharaj, Pataka Maharaj, they all just have to go through once, and they have read the book. They know everything. So he just said, "You just read it to me," and Mother Kanta comes to me because nobody was getting a chance to speak to him. It was only throughout he landed, it was me talking to him, and either he was talking to me. So Mother Kanta came to me and slowly said, in Hindi, he said, "क्या आज सारी बुक आप आज ही पढ़ दोगे क्या?" "You will read the whole book today." I said, "He's asking, Maharaj is asking." So it was such a beautiful incident. Then we stayed there for 2, 3 hours. Then I drove back to the airport, dropped the luggage, and then said bye to Maharaj. And then I came home in the evening, like 7 o'clock. So you see, spiritual life is that when you are dedicated, you have to be fully dedicated. It can't be half-baked cake. It cannot be that you want a half-baked thing and you want the full result with a half-baked thing. You cannot taste nectar like that. If you want to really taste nectar, you have to give your 100% to it. So when I was doing this, it was, my children were young, my family was there. But then it was so nice and intriguing, this spiritual life is. Krishna makes it so beautiful for you. Then everything happens well. Your husband is, and your children, they all remain good and well. It's never happened here if you have given here something and then you are missing out something in your worldly life. Of course not. Krishna takes care of everything. He's taking care of course. So when you are giving 100% here, Krishna takes care of your family 100%. So you don't need not worry. But you should give your 100%. So I hope you like this nectar. There are many, many stories. That's very beautiful stories I have with so many Maharaj, with Bhakti Charu Maharaj, with Radhanath Maharaj. They really been, I feel so blessed to be under the association of such exalted devotees. And it seems like I get the association of Srila Prabhupada like this. So that's very, we all are very fortunate. You are nonetheless, you're also so fortunate that you people are like reading the Prabhupada reading the Bhagavatam, knowing about so many sannyasis also must be visiting here. So many exalted devotees come here. So you meet them, you have a chance to know about Srila Prabhupada. We are very fortunate that way. So any other question anybody has? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know this question, but I want to ask it on behalf of these young children because I know they won't ask this question. So because it came in my mind before as well. So you give so many lectures on Hare Krishna TV about the family life. I heard many lectures about, like last time you gave on divorce, a big, very good lecture, and all other lectures. So as these children, also young children, entering soon, maybe in 5 years or something, in married life, So you have any advice for them? So how
Don't
they
get
can,
married.
if they get married, so it will help us as well, all of us.
Join temple full time, be a brahmachari.
I don't think it will happen, but here in Australia, but anyway.
It can happen anywhere. Prabhupada preached to hippies and they became sannyasis. So what about these people?
Yeah.
And then it's good, but be a good brahmachari means you'll become a good grasta also. If you're a good brahmachari, if you can control your desires, being a brahmachari. Brahmachari means, celibacy means when you can able to control your mind and desires. That is being a brahmachari. So even in grasta life, you need to be brahmachari. You need to be controlling your desires. So good brahmachari will of course make a good grasta. But a brahmachari can be 100% dedicated. You see, when once you get married, of course, everything doesn't remain the same as it was earlier. Changes are bound to come. And when the changes come, a lot of liabilities and responsibilities come. So when some people they take the responsibilities nicely, they can carry on. They have heavy shoulders. If you become a good brahmachari, you get heavy shoulders. More control, sense control. That means heavy shoulders. You have to carry out your heavy responsibilities. So they're going to be emotional, financial, lots of things will happen. Life will not be. It's not going to be a rosy love story all the time. So it changes, and change should be accepted. Krishna says all the time in the second chapter, he's saying in the Bhagavad Gita, changes will happen. Soul remains the same, but the change is going to happen. The body is going to change. So likewise, our transition period, once a brahmachari youth, when you boy from boyhood to youth to the middle age and then the old age. So likewise, it is first a brahmachari, then the grahastha jivan. So how the grahastha jivan has to be like from the Bhagavatam we have been listening, Agrah maybe we should not be, Agrah maybe we should be a real grahastha. So Kaivalya Sochte, that is all in the scriptures, that how can one follow like that? Of course, if you are chanting nicely, if you are following the rules and regulations, but not just for the sake of following. It should not be just for the sake of following. It should be from you want to do it. It should be from your heart. It's coming from your heart. Bhakti is from the heart. So many people say, oh, we don't need to chant the rounds, we are from our heart, we are always of Krishna and Krishna is ours. So I'm not talking of that kind of bhakti. I'm talking really you are very surrendered. You're dedicated and you're doing it out of love. If you're chanting, it's out of love. If you're serving, it's out of love. You see, if I travel the world, it's out of love for my spiritual master. It's out of love for the movement. It's not for any personal gains I want to travel. Traveling is, people think, oh, it's very glamorous. She travels around the world. It's such a hectic thing, You have to really be constantly, you're out of the comfort zone. It's not, the whole world is the same. Out of India, everything looks alike, whether it's Canada, whether it's Australia, whether it's Europe. Everything like, it's the same houses, same roads, everything's same. It is. There's nothing new to see. And being a devotee, you don't have much interest in going around and see the materialistic things. You just be aware of the things what's happening here. That's all. So, but being a grasta, one should take it very responsibly. The life that is going to do vows we are going to take, we should actually care for those vows and marry a like-minded person. Never ever go for a person who has not the same interest with you. The interest should be same. Level may not be same, but the interest should be same. If it's not the same, it'll bring trouble. So Guru Maharaj always told me when both of us got initiated together, he said, I'm so happy that both of you are getting the initiation together. Both of you are interested in it together. Both of us respected Guru Maharaj alike. It was the same kind of love and affection. What I have, that's what my husband has. There is nothing that he loves him less than me. No, fully dedicated. He is also as I am. So then there is no question like this. I would, as I said earlier, Guru Maharaj was my mentor as well. So I would go around and tell any problem. When I joined ISKCON, I was in my late 30s. So, and by 40, I had decided that I wouldn't be running my business. He was 42 and he decided he would not be continuing with his business. And we would be happy with what we have till that time and we would be contented in that. That was a big decision we were taking. Our children were small at that time. But then also, we were happy that we wanted to serve. Both of us were happy. No matter what problems would come, we will serve Guru Maharaj. We will serve Prabhupada. And that was a common goal for us. So if you have a common interest, common goal, your life will be a success. If your goals diversify, then there are going to be problems. And if there are some diversification, if you have the confidence that you can bring your train back on the track, if you can convince the partner. So conviction will not be with how it is, how you would do it. With your own example, you have to do it. You have to be very resilient, you have to be very patient, you have to be very tolerant. If you're not that, then it won't happen. Sometimes the two partners may vary at some problem. Opinions will differ. So somewhere when the opinions differ, you should have that capability to accept it, to be tolerant at the moment and be, patient. So with me, it was very nice with like Guru Maharaj. Like earlier days when I used to travel, I started traveling and giving lectures. My husband would say sometimes, if the opinions differ, he would say, it might be he would be listening. And he would say, you can lecture the whole world, but not lecture me. So I told my Guru Maharaj, he was visiting us one day. He was in our home. I remember he was standing and I said, Maharaj, I want to say something. He said, what? I said, Maharaj, he says that don't lecture me, you can lecture the whole world, but not me. And then Guru Maharaj smiled and laughed. He said, who tells you to tell him, to lecture him? You tell me, I will lecture him. So it is always. Once my husband said, oh, you have to say sorry if you want me to come to the temple. There was an occasion, Guru Maharaj giving a Ram Nami lecture in the evening. So we had a small tiff, and in the morning he did not go, so I also did not go. So Guru Maharaj, it was like he called me up and he said, well, I didn't see you for the Abhishek. I said, Maharaj, likewise, we had a small tiff, and he says, okay, in the evening I'm giving a lecture, come over. So I told my husband we had to go in the evening to the temple. He was in his office at that time. I called him up and I said, we have to go to the temple. I spoke to Guru Maharaj and he's giving a lecture in the East Kailash temple. So my Prabhuji said, if you say sorry and you drag the car to and fro, then I will go. And then I said, okay, I'll say sorry for Guru Maharaj, I can say. And then I told him, and when I told my Guru Maharaj that I have to say sorry to him, I said, yeah, it's okay. You're sorry you married him. So likewise, he resolves. So like these things get resolved in happy notes. So one should be ready. And my husband, till date, everybody does his leg pulling like this. So he is also happy about it. And often I would like Guru Maharaj or other disciples, God brothers, even we would. Now also when I landed here, my husband he just felt sick a little bit. So he had a bad stomach. So there's another God brother who was our Guru Maharaj's doctor, Dwarkadish Prabhu. He remained a Guru Maharaj's doctor till the end. And Guru Maharaj in his will even wrote that he would be the one who would take any decision. One of the doctors, the teammate, he will be one of the doctors. If Guru Maharaj is unable to take any decision at the time, so this doctor will take the decision. So he's a God brother and he's very, very sweet also. So he sent me a message. He said, oh, you've gone and your secretary has fallen ill here. I said, you take care of him. So our God, the relation you see, the family relation, it's like in the devotees, it becomes a family because like-minded in the material world where the relatives are, they will not be like-minded. They will be more of opportunists. If you go into the material world, the relatives, if they are always expecting something from you, if you are unable to give that to them, they will move backward. They will not come forward with you. But devotees, they will stand with you. If you have any problem, any issue, they will come and be with you because their goal and your goal is the same to serve the spiritual master and serve Krishna and Radha. So that is the main reason. So it says the family that prays together stays together, and those who are actually dedicated to the Supreme Lord, they become a family. So that's why always Rupa Goswami even said, Ado Shoda Tado Sadhu Sang, Tada Bhajani Kriya. The Sadhu Sang is very important. That's the devotional family is very important. And in the Granth Sahib even it says, Bin Paga Satsang na labije, bin Satsanga mala bharije. Without being fortunate, you cannot find the association of devotees. One is very fortunate if he gets the association of devotees. And bin paga satsanga na labije, bin satsanga mala bharije jiyo. And without being in this satsang, you will lead a sinful life. That's for sure. Sins will come and overpower you. They will take you away. But that is how it is that without being the association of exalted devotees, without being the association of sadhu sant, one cannot actually lead a good life. One is very fortunate if they find a sadhu sant in their lifetime. Yes, you had a question.
Hare Krishna, Madhuri. So coming from a Sikh background, could you? I meet many people from theist and atheist ideologies. So could you say something about finding essence, Vaishnava essence, in and multi-faith unity something from your experience of preaching to, different faith people.
This is the book that answers all. Because when I wrote this book, Jayapataka Maharaj actually wrote here, he said, "Thank you for this wonderful contribution. I pray you can make many pure devotees." And there was one line which I asked him if he can, he wrote here, "This book would do wonders to open-minded Sikhs." So, and even Jayadvait Maharaj said, yours in Srila Prabhupada's service, he said, the book demonstrates very well sorts of parallels to be found between the Guru Granth Sahib and the Vaishnava texts. This should prove valuable for devotees. You have rendered a good service. The book is designed very nicely. So this is actually the book, in the Granth Sahib, there's a definition for a Vaishnava, who a Vaishnava is. So, agar main padhungi, so that is in Punjabi, because I've written in English here as well. Mithya nahi rasna paras man mai preet niranjan daras. Par istri roop na pekhe ne prasad ki tehal satsang hai. I'll just explain this part to you. It says Mithya, a Vaishnava is the one who does not actually speak false. Never. He's very truthful. Manamai Preet Niranjan Das, he is always in his heart, he carries the lingering for taking darshan of the Supreme Lord. He always has that feeling in his heart. Paristri Rupna Pekhe Netra. Likewise, Prabhupada said, every woman is Mataji. Just except your wife, every woman is your Mataji. So that's what it says here. Paristri Rupna Pekhe Netra. A Vaishnava is the one who does not see the beauty of other women. Karan na sune kahu, sadh ki tehal satsang hai. Sadh ki tehal means serving the sadhus, serving the saints. So his tehal means seva, service. He gives service to the sadhus. Satsanga hai, and he remains in the association of devotees. Karan na sune kahu ki ninda. He does not commit a Vaishnava prank. He does not listen or speak ill of others. Never. He never criticizes anybody. Sabke jane apas ko manda. He's so humble. When against Srinath Visunichena, he says, he's apas te jane, sabte jane apas ko manda. Out of everybody, he thinks he is the worst among all. He has no good qualities. He sees the good qualities of others and he actually looks into the faults in himself, not in others. Gur Prasad Bikhyate Parhare Maniki Basana Manate Tare. So Gur Prasad Bikhyate Parhare. By the grace of the Guru, Bikhya. Bikhya means all the illusion. So by the grace of the Guru, if he is surrendered to his Guru, then all the illusions will be washed away. Maniki Basana Mante Tare. So all the Maniki Basana, the Maniki Vasana is all the Trishnas, all the desires, they all come out of your mind. So what happens in Maniki Basana Mante Tare? The lust leaves his mind and he conquers his senses and saves oneself from the 5 enemies. Indri Jit Panch Dok Tere. He conquers the 5 enemies, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Isha. Nanak quote Madhe ko aisa apras. Nanak says, out of millions, there will be one like this. Vaishnav so jis upar, Vishnu su prasanna. So he is a Vaishnava, and the Vaishnava is the one on whom Vishnu is very pleased. Bisham ki maya hoite pin. Krishna says, Devi Heshima Maya, Maya Duratya. So, Bisham ki maya, the Maya is also his. It's Vishnu. Bisham means Vishnu. So Vishnu ki Maya. So Vishnu's Maya, but the Vaishnava is different. He takes himself away from Vishnu's Maya. He knows its Maya is also Vishnu. Everything is coming from him. But he keeps himself aloof from Vishnu's Maya. He does not indulge into Maya. Karam karat hove nehe karam. So he does the karma that is a karma. So you all know what a karma is. He does everything for Krishna. This is Vaishnava ka nirmal dharma. This is Vaishnava's dharma. This is the dharma of a Vaishnava. Kahu fal ki ichha nahi bache, keval ki bhakt kirtan sangrache. He has no other desire but just to sing the glories of Krishna, Vishnu. Keval bhakt kirtan sangrache, mantan antar simran gopal. So from his mind, man, tan, antar, from mind, from body, everything, he's always chanting Gopal. Sab upar hovat kripal. So mercy, he showers his mercy upon everybody. That's a Vaishnava. आप दृढ़ अवरो नाम जपावे. With full dridata, with full determination, he chants the holy name and he makes others also chant. Nanak, O Vaishnav, Param Gata Pavan. So Nanak says that Vaishnava will have the Param Gati. He will be liberated. That is a Vaishnava. So this is the definition given in the Granth Sahib. So there is nothing left beyond for me to say. Because likewise you will find it's full of such verses. There are many, many stories I have which I travel and tell. And there are, you can listen to many lectures I have on YouTube of my channel. You can listen to them as well. There we have discussed so many things from here, many stories. So there are many things I can speak. So over the coming days, I will be speaking. I know it's getting late. I can go on for hours and hours. There is so much into this scripture. I hope I satisfied you. Any other question you have in mind? Yes, Mother.
I just wanted.
Hare Krishna, Mother.
Mother, yeah, just please, if you can share with us when you meet your spiritual master for the first time, please.
It was in August 99. I was there in the temple in Punjabi Bagh. We had a very small temple. When I joined, there was a temple in a garage. In a house, we had somebody lived in America. He had asked Guru Maharaj they could use his house as a temple, and he gave a little portion of that house to be used as a temple. So we had a small garage. That was the temple, and the deities were installed there. And I had gone to take darshan after being to Vrindavan for the first time. That was my first encounter with ISKCON. So I came back and then we started going to the Punjabi Bagh temple. That was near to my home, just 2 minutes, 3 minutes drive. So I would go every day to the temple, chant my rounds. So that day also there was Sunday. We have a Saturday feast lecture there. So on Saturday it was, and I had gone to take darshan. I didn't know who sannyasis are. I was just chanting. I was just following them because it had been just 2-3 months for me, and I was not aware of much who sannyasi is. So I had gone to the temple with my Prabhu and I was standing there and there was a big crowd as a sannyasi came in a saffron clothes. I saw a person in the middle and a lot of people around him walking with him. They took him inside. He had darshan inside with the deities. And when he came out, I was standing in a corner. I used to remain away from the crowds. I never wanted to go inside the crowds. So I was standing in the corner. And he came out from the altar outside. He was coming. He was going to give a lecture. He had to turn towards his left, towards his right to go and give the lecture. So I was standing here, and he was supposed to turn around. But then he walked to me. He had a flower which he got from the inside from the altar. He just walked to me and he handed the flower to me, and I took it. But he looked into my eyes. I took the flower. I didn't know anything. I didn't bow down. I didn't know anything who he was. He just gave me the flower, and he turned around, and I came home. I just heard a bit of lecture on the speaker outside because inside it was too crowded. It was in a small temple, so small room. It was hall. It was half the size of this, and it was crammed up. I did not go inside. I just came home, and when I came home, it was the next day was Sunday. And on Sundays, actually, my husband, my children, they love the khichdi prasadam. So every Sunday, we used to make it a point to send a casserole to the temple. My husband would carry it, get it filled with khichdi prasad, bring home, and children would have that breakfast every day, every Sunday. So he, as usual, it was a Sunday, he went to the temple, and Guru Maharaj had stayed that night in the temple. And he was supposed to go to that big temple to give his class there. So my Prabhuji went to the temple, he carried the casserole and he was getting that filled. In the meantime, the Guru Maharaj met him and he was introduced to Guru Maharaj. So my husband told Guru Maharaj as he asked him, who all chants in your house? And all my husband told, my wife chants, I chant 16 rounds, she chants 16 rounds, and we are trying to follow. And then the Guru Maharaj told my husband, where is your wife? So he said, she's at home. Children are at home today, Sunday. So Guru Maharaj said, I would like to meet her. And my Prabhuji called me home and he said, there is a sannyasi here and he has come here and he's asking that he wants to meet you. So I said, I cannot come right now. I have to get ready and it will take 20 minutes for me to get ready and come. He told Guru Maharaj that she cannot come. It's going to take 20 minutes for her to come. Guru Maharaj said, no problem. Tell her I will wait for her. I didn't know. He waited and I got ready and I reached the temple and I met my Guru Maharaj for the first time. And then he gave me his precious time, like 30, 40 minutes. He sat with me, he asked me, I spoke to him. And then from that day onwards, I never left him. I was always with him. Whether in Delhi, he would give 4 lectures a day. I and my husband would visit all the 4 lectures we would attend. One in this corner of Delhi, other in that corner, this corner. We will go for all 4. And he never had a car for him in the temple. He never kept a car for himself. So though he has made such beautiful big temples, he has made 18 temples in Delhi. And he recently, only like just 10, 12 years back, he started keeping a car because everybody insisted. Then he kept a car for himself. Otherwise, the devotees would take the service to drop him, to pick him up, to take him around. So started asking for all the services from him. And he very nicely gave sometimes the services to us, me and my Prabhu. My Prabhuji would drive and he never said that I could not sit in the car. He said, you can sit. So, and if any other female disciple would say, he would say, I never travel with ladies. I never sit with ladies. But for me, he never thought me to be a lady. He always took me as his daughter. So I would ask for Guru Maharaj that can you take you here to Vrindavan, there, that, and he would readily say yes. He would never say no. The whole community of devotees knew that he would never say no to Radhika Kripa. So, and when somebody would say to Guru Maharaj that can we take you to the airport or drop you, and Guru Maharaj would say no, I don't sit with ladies, and then she would say, oh, we have seen you sitting with Radhika Kripa. And then Guru Maharaj would get really annoyed with me and he would say, you advertise a lot. I said, I don't advertise, Guru Maharaj. But then I had such nice moments with my spiritual master. So likewise, I met him and then I never left him, my husband and I. We really wanted to serve him all the time, everywhere, making even prasadam. And for that, if sometimes I would not cook for him and somebody else would cook, and he will ask me if he was visiting. Like I would not go every day to cook in the east of Kailash temple. There were so many devotees who were taking care. But when he would see me around and he would especially ask me, "What have you cooked here?" So if I said nothing, then he would say, "You are very lazy." Then I learned actually cooking for him. I was a fashion designer. I never had any intentions of going to the kitchen to cook. I always hired a cook. But then when I became a devotee, the story became different entirely. I learned cooking myself. And sometimes I had offered him burnt chapatis even, but I learned the chapati cooking for him. And today I make excellent chapatis. And my husband is a chef himself. He makes very nice for Guru Maharaj's pleasure. Recently, on February 28th, Guru Maharaj was in Rohini and he was leaving the Rohini temple. And my Prabhuji used to make very soft, very nice chapatis for him. And Guru Maharaj, while coming out, he said, Rasapriya, that's my Prabhu's name. He said, Rasapriya, your chapatis are the best in the world. Guru Maharaj said that, and all the devotees are there. And I said, and I would really joke with my spiritual master like that. And I said, yes, Guru Maharaj, he's under the best training. So that is how we had such a nice relationship. It was so nice, so beautiful. So till date, we miss our Guru Maharaj so much. But yet he is preaching somewhere and he's allocated us to preach here. That's why we are doing our services. We have to continue our services till we leave this planet. Hari Thank you, Mother. I think so. We should end. Everybody must be hungry. Yes, Mother. Very good.
In so many years in Krishna consciousness, still I feel like I'm an uncooked cake. As you said that we have to give 100% in our spirituality, which is never happening in my life. So just by getting distracted by small things, like my focus will get away from Krishna consciousness, and those small things become the main picture of my life. So how to be like
That's illusion. That is Maya. That is illusion. I had, as I said earlier, my mentor was Guru Maharaj. So it's not that everybody gets when he enters, when he or she enters the spiritual life, there will be problems. But we focus on just the instructions, preaching, taking up our Krishna consciousness and giving to others. That's important. And when we are very sincere in this, then we get all the assistance from our spiritual master. My Guru Maharaj would, I also would get such things, and my Guru Maharaj would talk to me for one hour on the phone and would guide me at how I should be. He would narrate me. Once we picked him up from the airport and I was talking to him and I said, I left my business to be now simple in life. And I don't want to preach Guru Maharaj because when I go for preaching, I get so much of respect and honor that I cannot take it. I know it, I'm not worthy of it, and this will actually bring pride in me. I don't want. I left my business to not to be proud. And now the same thing is happening with me here when people really respect you. I'm talking about this in 2003. I spoke to him. And then it was just 4 years I had been there, and he was asking me to go and give lectures. And when I gave lectures, people appreciated, and he said, I said, I will get, I'll get so much of pride in me, and I don't want that. Then he narrated the story of Vasudev Vipra to me. He said, you see, he became a leper. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just hugged him, and when he embraced him, he became a very handsome man. And he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, earlier people would change their direction when they saw me coming. Now, when I've become so beautiful, so handsome, everybody is appreciating me. Everybody is liking me. I will become pride. I'll have pride in me. And then Maharaj said, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, you should chant your rounds, you should read the Bhagavad Gita, you should preach, and then you will not become proud. And Guru Maharaj narrated the story to me. He said, that is how it should be. So you see, everything, chanting will solve everything. You don't lose your faith in chanting, don't lose your faith in Krishna, don't lose your faith in spiritual masters' instructions. Follow the instructions. That's very important. So for us, it is, if he has said, I used to tell Guru, your words are final for me. It's not that always it was, he would scold me also sometimes. Sometimes something would happen and I would tell him and he would scold me as well. But then I used to say, his anger would subside immediately when I would say, your words are final with me. Whatever you say is final, Guru. So when these words are final, we should accept them as final. Then if you see something wrong somewhere, because ISKCON is so big, you have every temple I visit, they narrate me the stories of the politics going on, they narrate me the stories what's happening. This everywhere it is the same. But we have to focus on the goal. The philosophy is excellent, as I said earlier. The philosophy is excellent, Prabhupada is excellent. So we are under the best guidance. Our focus is this. Our focus is not what is happening around. So you see just the good thing in the other person, don't see the fault in them. That's how we will be able to move ahead. So that's how it is. We should actually move forward. हमें एडवांस करना है तो हमें किसी की भी गलती देखनी नहीं है उसको सुधार सकते हैं तो इट इज गुड पर अपने एग्जाम्पल से सुधारना डोंट ट्राई टू फोर्स समथिंग ऑन अदर्स दे विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट इट you have to I've seen people those who would be envy of us or something over the years when you remain actually you remain sincere to the teachings of your spiritual master your instructions to your the instructions of the spiritual master if you're sincere to them then those people also get a message maybe in some time it will take time and they get a message yes so they cannot it cannot happen कि we say no बुरे लोग जो हैं वो ज्यादा फलते फूलते क्यों हैं so why devotees have to suffer more because devotees have realized they haven't realized so वो अपनी ignorance में blissful है but you know what is the devotees understand this so devotees when they understand that they have to suffer the most they because they have to be more patient because devotees have understood they have to be patient the other people they don't know what patience is what tolerance is उनके लिए तो सिर्फ ignorance is bliss. They are enjoying in their bliss, in their ignorance. So, but the devotee understands. When you understand, so you have more responsibility. So that is how it is. We should be actually not get carried away. ये illusion है जो हमें खींच लेता है कि no 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 Don't get carried away by what others say. What Prabhupada is saying, just fix to that. That's why reading Prabhupada Lilamrit is very important. If you read Prabhupada Lilamrit, you will understand how it is so difficult was for Prabhupada. So how easy it's for us. For us, so everything is already done. We have a temple, we have just to go there. Prabhupada disciples, what they had to do, Prabhupada would tell them, get out of the train and make a temple here. Go and arrange for a temple. Yamuna Mataji, I've spent many times, had met her many times, I spent some time with her. And she told me that, like her own experience when she was coming from Amritsar, from with Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, I feel like having boiled rice. And she knew that how would she cook from here in the train. She went to the canteen. Earlier days, the train used to have a cooking train as well, where the cooks would freshly cook the food. These days, the thalis, they are actually well prepared and they board it in the train. Earlier, the cooking was done in the train. So she went there in the kitchen of the train and she said, I want to cook. And she's American and they're Indians. They don't know the language even. And she's telling them, I want to cook boiled rice. They won't understand. And she said, chawal banana. She knew a few words. And then they said, no cooking allowed here. You cannot cook. She said, my spiritual master, Guru ke liye banana hai. And they said, no. And she opened the door, train car. And she said, I'll jump out of it if you will not let me do it. She put one foot outside. She said, I'll jump from the train. And they folded their hands and said, yes, come and cook. And she cooked it. See how daring it is to be. For her spiritual master, she's ready to give her life just for boiled rice. And she cooked it immediately and took it to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was so happy. He said, wow, you could do it here as well. And she got it to Prabhupada. So this is how it is, should be. Enthusiasm should be like that. I want to serve my spiritual master. So if you really want to serve him, everything will fall in place. Because without mercy, bhakti nahi hoti hai. Bhakti is only done with the mercy of the spiritual master. That is how it is. Hope I answered it. It's too long answer. So we will end the session here. I knew because if I would just give a discourse, that wouldn't be because you all don't know me. I'm just first time here in Canberra. I came long time in 2007. I came in Canberra to visit the sightseeing. The devotees brought me to visit the Parliament House and all these places there. And but then I'm coming here after so many years, so I don't know the congregation here. So thank you everybody for joining in. We will hopefully to see you. I'm here for a week, so let's see. Hope to see you again, all of you. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Shri Prabhupada, all glories to you all glories to ISKCON Canberra. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Radhika Maता ji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki